Well, China is buzzing about blockchain after President Xi Jinping made remarks urging more efforts to accelerate development in the sector. What does President Xi Jinping's comments about blockchain mean for China's tech industry? How will a boom in blockchain change the way we work and live? And the United Nations Children's Fund, more commonly called UNICEF, is celebrating 40 years in China this year. What's the story of the agency in China? Welcome to The Point, an opinion show coming to you live from Beijing. I'm Michael Wang, sitting in for Liu Xin. Well, Chinese President Xi Jinping has underscored the importance of blockchain technology for a new round of technological innovation and industrial transformation in this country. He is calling for more to be done to quicken development in the sector. But what do his remarks actually mean in terms of policy changes? What's the impact on China's tech entrepreneurs? And how have his remarks changed the international playing field for developing blockchain technology? To talk more about this, we are joined in our Beijing studio by Terry Wang. He is the co-founder and chief technology officer of IOST, a Beijing-based blockchain company that's building the next generation public blockchain, as well as John Gong, professor of economics at the University of International Business and Economics. Gentlemen, welcome to The Point.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Terry, I want to start with you first because you had former working experience in Silicon Valley. Now you're back here right in Beijing building your own blockchain company.
It is.
Talk to us first about what you made of President Xi Jinping's remarks in terms of elevating blockchain's importance for China's next round of technological innovation and development.
Yeah, so actually for us, it's actually quite surprising. And it's not the first time blockchain has been endorsed by the Chinese government. Back in 2016, Chinese government has already included blockchain in its 13th five-year plan and included blockchain as the one of the innovative force. So as we saw, China has already leading this great mobile network revolution in the past 10 years, given the policy endorsement, I really think China can lead the blockchain revolution in the next 10 years. So that's why I came back from the Valley to China and we started building blockchain. So for us, called IOST. And it's really encouraging to see the field you profoundly believe has once again been recognized by the government.
Well, what does it mean for your business? Because you are on the front lines of blockchain. You're actually a programmer for blockchain.
It is, yeah. So we are building the next generation blockchain as programmers. So we write the infrastructure for the blockchain, and we're trying to make a blockchain more secure, more scalable, and more easy to use. So there are many open fields that's waiting for us to solve. So that's why we have a large team to work on all different open problems in the blockchain field to make the infrastructure of blockchain better and secure and easy to use.
And Professor, blockchain is currently billed as revolutionary. Do you think it might change the modes of production from an economic standpoint?
Well, from an economics standpoint, I think the most revolutionary aspect of blockchain is it basically nullifies the role of intermediation. And if we because it's a distributed system, there's supposed to be trust between blocks, and there's no sort of central player in this. There's no intermediation between blocks. In a way, it facilitates transaction very fast and also very securely, as you said. The notion is that this is going to be no transaction cost, right? And also there's no need for a centralized sort of a planning role here. So every time you talk about nullifying the role of intermediation, now think about how many of the economic activities are surrounding about this. The insurance business, the banking business, the stock exchange. All these things theoretically can be all gone if we really believe in this grand vision here.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be many, many decades away if ever it's going to happen. But I think that, at least in theory, this is supposed to be revolutionary in a way that's going to wipes out all these traditional industries. It sounds pretty scary to a lot of people, in my opinion.
I mean, we'll see if it's decades away or maybe just 10 or 15 years away. Who knows? Terry, we're going to get back to you because when we think about blockchain technology, often perhaps one of the first things we come up with are digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, but it's much more than that. It's the distributed ledger technology that underpins blockchain that's revolutionary, right?
Yes, yeah. So people like sometimes people confuse between blockchain and Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. There's a huge difference. So the word blockchain actually emerges from Bitcoin. It's originally an underlying technology, but it evolves as a new technology itself. So okay, so that's why there's as a new technology and it's immature, so there are some maybe minorities that are trying to take advantage of this situation, and that leads to frauds and scams. But this kind of negative impression actually overshadows the great benefits which blockchain technology can bring to us. And as mentioned by President Xi, it is capable of solving numerous business problems in all different fields, as well as drive productivity and efficiency in all different areas.
Yeah, I want to touch upon that a little bit more, Professor, because President Xi Jinping also said we need to integrate blockchain into the real economy. For example, helping small and medium-sized enterprises to lower their financing costs. What do you think? How do we go from here to integrating blockchain more with the real economy?
Yeah, well, I mean, President Xi is absolutely right. People used to equate blockchain with cryptocurrency, which we've seen, tons of fraud so far, and it's a very negative connotation. But as you said, blockchain is more than just about cryptocurrency. It is a new kind of architecture. It's a new philosophy, basically. So, you like to have this kind of new thinking, new technology, new philosophy to be deployed in a real economy to improve the efficiency of the old economy, to find new applications to help operations to be more efficient, to be transaction cost-free, all these aspects. So I think certainly people are finding more and more real applications of blockchain in the traditional production model. And that's a very good sign. I think that's just really what President Xi is talking about. It's not so much about putting an official stamp on, endorsement stamp on this model of cryptocurrency. Of course, we need to have some kind of a international currency exchange or payment mechanism that is not being totally controlled by the SWIFT system, right? I think that's a direction we want to go, but it's very different from creating its own cryptocurrency and that kind of thing. So I think it's totally different. I think what President Xi has said has to be interpreted in the right way and in the right context.
Yeah. Terry, we are still in the early stages of blockchain development around the world. But, I mean, since you are at the forefront of this technology, how far are industries away in terms of upgrading themselves, in terms of integrating this into their business models? Are we years away, decades away on that front?
Right now, we're still in a very early stage. And if we compare to the internet era, probably I would say it's right now the time is more like the early 90s. And people just begin to make the online infrastructure more usable. But still, there's a long way to go in terms of the efficiency, the stability, the security, and lots of the issues. Yeah.
Is cost perhaps an issue in terms of businesses using blockchain, but cost is a major barrier? The steps are too high to get this technology rolling?
I think the barrier right now is the easier to use, the easiest to use, and how the current system can be incorporated coherently with the blockchain technology. Because I think in many fields of the industry, especially in the real economy, many parts, many sectors has not even been mobilized or digitalized. So that has to be the pre-step for the blockchain to take place. So we first have to wait until that being say close to 99% done, and then we can take the next step.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe it's more than a decade away. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Professor, President Xi also added that China has a very strong foundation and should look to take a leading position in blockchain. Walk us through in terms of how strong this foundation China has in blockchain, and what sort of competitive advantages do you think that China has versus other countries when it comes to blockchain? Well,
we have a very good digital infrastructure in terms of our investment in the telecommunications network, in investment in artificial intelligence, in big data. All of these ITC-related industries, China is actually putting a lot of investment. And I think, in a way, at least we think if we're not leading, at least we're in the forefront of a competition. So I think this lays a very good foundation for the country to take the next step of investing in research in blockchain technologies. And also we have a very large market. I mean, this has always been the largest competitive advantage in my opinion. We have a large market, we have a lot of people, we have a lot of data, right? And I think Chinese consumers are quite open to new applications, adoption of new applications. So I think these are all kind of a very good advantages from Chinese side. And of course, we're a very strong government. We're willing to pull money behind this. And this is something that the country has been very good at in terms of mobilizing societal resources to concentrate on certain direction. And I think we've demonstrated that we can succeed in that fashion.
A lot of data indeed. This country has some 850 million internet users. That's a combined population of the United States and the EU, and that data is just growing. Terry, I want to get your take on this. As we ramp up the era of 5G, I mean, 5G is just right around the corner in terms of being rolled out. We're going to see billions of devices being connected via the Internet of Things. Is that going to give a major jolt to blockchain going forward?
It has, yeah. So blockchain is naturally suitable for like IoT stuff and Internet of Things applications. So that will, I would say for sure, make a certain leap in the current stage of accelerate the current stage of blockchain, and also help people get more traceability and easy to use for all different kinds of devices.
Professor, do you think we're seeing a race perhaps in blockchain technology around the world?
Well, we are seeing races in all aspects. I mean, between the two sides of the Pacific. In robotics, for example, there's a big race. In artificial intelligence, there's a big race. In blockchain, probably we also have a big race. I think both countries lay a lot of emphasis on innovation, and I think both countries view innovation as the driving force of the economy. So I think it's not surprising that both sides pull tons of money into this. You just came back from Silicon Valley. I mean, they have a very good system there. Companies are being created and born, and new technologies are also being created and born. And I think China is, in the past, have been trying to catch up, but now starting to play a more and more sort of a leading role in some aspects of these technology races. So I think this race is going on, and it's healthy. It's a good thing for both countries, and it's also a good thing and healthy for the mankind.
Yeah. Well, besides racing, hopefully we can see more cooperation in blockchain technology as well, because this is so important for cyberspace going forward. But we're going to have to leave it there. Many thanks for insights on this topic. Terry Wang, co-founder and CTO at IOST, a blockchain startup here in Beijing, as well as, of course, Professor John Gong from the University of International Business and Economics. Thank you to you both.